Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights, everyone. I'm Alex, and joining me today is Sam. We're diving into a topic that's reshaping how companies interact with their customers. AI, chatbot voice agents, and multimodal customer service heading into 2026. Sam, this feels like a pretty significant shift from the chatbots we've known for the past few years.
Absolutely, Alex. And it's not just a cosmetic upgrade. We're talking about a fundamental move from reactive systems, where a bot waits for you to ask something, to what's called agentic AI. These systems are proactive, they're orchestrating workflows, and they're doing things autonomously. It's a completely different ballgame.
Okay, so let's unpack that. When you say agentic AI, what does that actually mean in practice? If I'm running a customer service team, how is that different from the chatbot I have today?
Great question. Today's chatbots are basically answering machines. You ask something, they give you an answer. An agentic AI system is more like having an intelligent assistant who doesn't wait for you to ask. It's monitoring your account, predicting problems before they happen, recommending solutions, and handling things like refunds or billing adjustments on its own. Gartner's research shows 62% of enterprises are already piloting these systems, and by 2026, multi-agent orchestration is expected to be the norm.
That's wild. So these agents are connecting to your CRM, your billing systems, your knowledge bases, basically the whole tech stack?
Exactly. They're pulling data in real time, checking inventory, processing transactions, and coordinating across teams, all without human escalation for about 70 to 80% of typical first-tier support issues. McKinsey found that this approach reduces mean time to resolution from hours down to minutes, and it cuts support tickets by up to 40%.
Wow, those are serious efficiency gains. But I imagine there's a complexity cost here. How do companies actually implement something like that without it becoming a nightmare to manage?
That's where the architecture matters. You need what's called AI-led architecture. Basically, transparent, auditable systems with clear guardrails, especially if you're operating in Europe, where the EU AI Act is now in effect. Compliance isn't optional, it's table stakes. Platforms like etherbot are built with this in mind from the ground up, so you're not bolting compliance onto a system after the fact.
Right. The regulatory piece is interesting. We should talk about that, but first, let's dive into the multimodal side of this. You mentioned voice, images, video. How does that actually work together?
Multimodal means the system understands and responds across multiple channels in a single conversation. A customer calls in with a voice complaint about a product, takes a photo of the damaged item, and the system instantly diagnoses the problem and maybe sends a video tutorial. Stanford's research shows that multimodal interactions boost customer satisfaction by 34% and reduce support complexity by 41% compared to text-only systems.
So it's not just about having voice, image, and video capabilities separately. It's about using all of them together in one seamless conversation.
Precisely. Voice agents are handling 60 to 70% of routine requests, password resets, billing questions, scheduling. But when a customer needs to show you something visual, the system switches gears. Image recognition can diagnose problems instantly, initiate replacement workflows, or troubleshoot errors. The intelligence is flowing across all these modalities without the customer having to repeat themselves or switch platforms.
That's a huge improvement over the traditional experience where you call in, get transferred, explain your problem again. Let's talk about the voice piece, specifically. How mature is multilingual voice recognition at this point?
It's reached a point where it's genuinely useful at scale. We're seeing systems handle complex accents, background noise, and dialect variations much better than they did even 2 years ago. For a European company especially, supporting 10, 15, even 20 languages natively is now feasible. The accuracy rates are high enough that these voice agents can autonomously resolve 60 to 70% of common requests without human intervention.
That's impressive. But I'm curious. When you're dealing with multilingual support and complex customer issues, how do you prevent these systems from making mistakes or overstepping their authority?
That's where guardrails and AI lead architecture come in. You define clear rules: what transactions require human approval, what types of decisions an agent can make autonomously, how to handle edge cases. And critically, the system has to be auditable. You need to be able to trace exactly why the AI made a decision. That's not just good practice, it's a legal requirement under the EU AI Act.
So the EU AI Act isn't just a compliance headache, it actually forces you to build better, more trustworthy systems?
Absolutely. If you're building to EU standards, you're building systems with transparency, explainability, and risk management baked in. That's actually a competitive advantage. Customers trust systems they can understand, and if something goes wrong, you can explain why. That's much harder to do with a black box AI system.
That's a fascinating reframe. So let's talk practically. If I'm a business leader looking at 2026, and I'm thinking about deploying this kind of system, where do I start?
First, audit your current customer service stack. Map out your high-volume, low-complexity interactions. Those are your quick wins for agentic automation. Then, identify where multimodal would add value. Do your customers struggle describing issues? Could images or video help? After that, choose a platform built for EU compliance if you're operating there. Don't retrofit compliance, start with it.
And what about the training piece? Don't your teams need to understand how these systems work?
Absolutely. Your support team shifts from handling routine queries to managing exceptions and coaching the AI. You need people who understand how to interpret agent behavior, flag issues, and continuously improve the system. It's not about replacing people, it's about elevating what they do. That's a skill shift, not a workforce elimination.
That's an important point. So we're talking about transformation, not replacement. What's the realistic timeline for organizations to see ROI on implementing this kind of system?
With the right platform and smart implementation, most enterprises see measurable impact within 3 to 6 months. You might start with voice automation for simple requests and expand from there. The efficiency gains, reduced ticket volume, faster resolution, compound quickly. But the real value is longer term: better customer satisfaction, reduced churn, and the ability to scale support without proportionally scaling headcount.
So as we head toward 2026, this isn't a nice to have. It's becoming essential for competitive enterprises?
It really is. The enterprises winning in customer service by 2026 will be the ones with integrated, multimodal, proactive systems that respect regulatory requirements. The ones stuck with text-based reactive chatbots will be at a significant disadvantage. It's like the shift from email to mobile. You can ignore it for a while, but eventually it becomes mandatory.
Sam, thanks for breaking this down. There's so much more depth in the full article. We've really just scratched the surface. Listeners, for the complete analysis on voice agents, multimodal integration, compliance strategies, and real-world implementation examples, head over to etherlink.ai and find the full piece. There's detailed guidance on everything from workflow orchestration to answer engine optimization. Thanks for joining us on EtherLink AI Insights. See you next time.